Hey everybody, I'm back. Don't know for how long. I'm just following the nudge. So if you check my posts page, um, I posted a brilliant video today about the Cathars and how the social structure that targeted and destroyed the Cathars can be seen in today's society. It is a brilliant video. So check that out. But that video came at a time where I'm studying eugenics, epigenetics, social structuring, shepherding of consciousness. And what happens if you sit on the outside of that? What happens if you are a heretic and you have mastered the freedom of personal thought and you think outside the structure? So that's all kind of coming in and it's building to an action point. So we've got Mars in Taurus at the moment. I've completely switched to true sky astrology. So how I talk about astrology might be different. And that's activating your material response, action, taking action, and how you take action. So I've made some notes. Now, I started writing these notes on the 19th of May, and life is fast. The energy that's coming in is fast. You may also be feeling it. Is anybody sleeping? And here are some themes I'm picking up: loss of identity, new terrain, power dynamics. So in May, the astrology all seemed to be conjuncting the Pleiades. So there was some really beautiful, vulnerable, painful insights and revelations coming in for people. A lighthouse does not run into the sea to save the ships. Okay, so this is talking about passive witnessing in your own mastery of who you are becoming. Passive witnessing is going to help you to disentangle from drama, to disentangle from the distortions in the psychology that make you want to fix things, rescue things, micromanage other people's feelings, make yourself responsible for something that isn't yours, people please, golden child, narcissism, all of that stuff begins to come unpeeled when you stand still and witness something that's going on out there that isn't necessarily connected to you, but witness it and learn from it without trying to fix it. That sounds like a tiny thing. It's a big thing. It's a big thing, especially if you've grown up as the mediator in your family, the people pleaser, etc. The lighthouse stands still, holds the light, and beams. Now, the child that beamed may have been targeted and victimized for just beaming. As an adult, when you learn to beam, you must also learn to be some kind of way in the eyes of others that might get judged. So if another witnesses you in your standing stillness, they may want to compete with you or challenge you or insult you. And part of your mastery is to stand still and just allow that and witness it. Easier said than done. Mars in Taurus is not a happy little place. Taurus is Venus, and we have Mars in there. So Mars is saying, go on, take action. Stand still. Standing still is taking action. Okay, so these new expansion energies are discombobulating, and those who do not bend will break. Do you remember, I think a couple of years ago or last year? No, it definitely wasn't last year. A couple of years ago, I said there's going to come a point where it will take you more energy to stay the same, to uphold the container that you've built for yourself. than it will to let it fall, get lost, and hold yourself in that. We're there now. And it's taking some people more energy to hang on to their old identity. The illusions that have held us in this density of belief systems are crumbling, giving way to the revelation of many hidden and ugly truths about ourselves, and also revealing a level of beauty within you that you can barely look at. And beauty is not tied to deserving. I've heard this current expansion described as, it's like building a new light body while still walking in the density of the third dimension, or it's like changing an aeroplane's engine while it is in flight. Okay, so moment to moment, self-managing is what's going to help you. You're not going to feel the same today as you did yesterday. You may not feel the same at 3 o'clock today as you did at 8 a.m. Because these energies expand, then they compress, then they expand and compress. Okay. So discombobulation might be the new normal. Make it your friend. Right. Let's talk about loss of identity. On my other channel, listening to you, I think my first video was called something like The Sorrow of a Half-Lived Life. And that theme seems to have played all the way through in people's revelations about themselves. And we're in that now. It's ramping, and the revelations might be uncomfortable. So discombobulation and uncomfortable, new normal. So loss of identity, realization of a half-lived life, where you might have had plenty of money but never felt abundance. You might have had lots of loving relationships but never felt loved. Where you might have worked your arse off to create this but not feel fulfilled. I've been useful and valuable in my life and called that love. I thought when people needed me, they loved me. When people need you and don't want you, have a look at that. Can I conceive of a life free from worry? What have I built my whole identity around? And in there include parents, persons of authority, teachers, priests, whoever's been in your life and influenced it, has shaped you and shepherded you towards a belief system that might not be inherent to what you came here to be. Where have I given away my authority and agency to keep the peace? And can I stand in the discomfort of dropping that contract? What will my mind do when I no longer have to overthink or micromanage other people's feelings? Soul energy, and all that energy has to go somewhere. Okay, so when you start setting yourself free in your expression, you'll start to notice where you previously haven't been free. You might want to suddenly grab the reins and jerk the horse back so that you can micromanage what they'll think of me or how they'll see me and da-da-da. At that point, work to slowly let that go and just let the system collapse. Okay. Compression and decompression. I don't think that will stop anytime soon. June feels extremely fast. A collection of current symptoms: chronic fatigue, flu, aches, pains, skull, suture, headaches, digestive dysfunction, when your diet hasn't changed, clumsy, scattered, sudden inability to write or type, threshold amnesia, losing track of time, not knowing where you are in space-time, not quite here, not quite there, general discombobulation. Is the body that you manage and care for today the same body you managed and cared for 3 years ago. I can say for myself, mine is not. My body has changed radically, and I have no manual. Okay, so I somewhere signed up for all of these DNA shifts and upgrades and changes to tear down the old psychology and to rebirth into a new version, and that didn't look anywhere near as elegant as I've just made it sound. And I no longer have a handbook to operate this system. And so here we begin a new stage of studenting and learning. What does your body need? What's that going to do? That's going to connect you more deeply at a somatic level with what your body needs right now. Right now won't be the same in 3 hours' time. It's all changing. So my new healthcare pack is kombucha, kimchi, grounding sheet, grounding mat, which my feet are on right now, drum, singing bowl, tuning fork, kundalini breathwork, and vocal toning. So and sound, digestive system, and something kinetic is really helping me. Very basic, but when put together, they become quite potent for me. So I've dropped those in case they help you. So let me close my notes down. And I am going to pull a few cards and then I am going to leg it for my clients. And I'm going to go to my favorite deck, which I've forgotten the name of. This is the one that Russell sent to me, Russell Penn from Rustling Around, and he created these with other collaborators, but they're amazing. The something astrology, musical symbols of astrology or something. Sorry, Ross. Love you. Okay. Oh, what messages want to drop today? Okay. Okay, so when you check out that post, you'll see I've written something like, in the last few days, I've been studying eugenics, epigenetics, social structuring, and then in comes this Joe Rogan video sent to me, which took me further on my journey. And then this morning, working with my lot, exploring gaslighting as a planetary-wide mechanism to structure the collective. And it made me ask the question, is Beauty and the Beast actually a story about Stockholm Syndrome? And so when I talk about the ugly revelation, it's going to involve you being in a state of really critical inquiry to walk around the room and look at the situation that's in the middle of the room from lots and lots of different viewpoints, because no one thing is true. Perception is reality. How you perceive your world is your reality. It isn't necessarily your truth. Your truth sits underneath the very fabric of what has created this world. And the fabric of what creates the world is the Maya. That's the projection. Okay. Hmm. We've got some energy rising now from the sacral up to the solar plexus. Okay, here we go. Thank you. Yeah, beautiful. So first card out is Chariklo, which reminds me that right now we have Black Moon Lilith in Ophiuchus. Thank you. Right. Black Moon Lilith is a mathematical calculation. And it is the moon in apogee. So apogee is the furthest away from the Earth. Perigee is the closest. I think the last new moon we had, June new moon, was moon in perigee. So moon in apogee is the furthest away on its ecliptic from the Earth. That point is the most repressed self. It is the heretic, the rebel. So we're going to need these, aren't we? It is the rebel. It is the imprisoned, ostracized, excluded, excised essence of the dark feminine that is within everybody. This is not a man-woman thing. Feminine is the dark creative force, that dark magic, the chaos that creates and destroys like that and doesn't get entangled in, oh, I made a mess. No. So Chariklo comes in with the enforcer of boundaries. Right. Boundaries are great, and boundaries need a consequence. The consequence is the part of the equation that often gets omitted because the consequence to what is impacting your system is felt by that. It's also felt by this in the non-pleasing. So you move from a state of pleasing and shifting and adapting and belonging and fitting in to standing strange and not pleasing. Okay, so I'm seeing this symbol as the Empress with an open mind. Yeah. Oh, wow. So if Black Moon Lilith is in Ophiuchus, it's at the galactic center. Galactic center is 12 degrees, 12 minutes of Ophiuchus. I don't know exactly where Lilith is today, but she's going to cross that point. Right, got it. Right, got it. So a piece of work I did weeks, probably months ago. I was working with the planets in a space free from archetypical identity. So I'm working with breaking down identities. And I think it was 3 planets that came in. The first one was Jupiter, which came in as Jupiter. Okay. Kind of this Janus energy. Jupiter is the jolly jape. And a jolly jape can make you angry as much as it can make you giggle. So it's not the Walt Disney outcome, is what Jupiter was trying to tell me. Jolly jape, stop taking everything so seriously, the cosmic joke. Fool energy. And it was Jupiter, one of the planet. I'll give you that in a minute. So that was Jupiter. And then in comes Pluto. Pluto came in as Plato with the message about your philosophy, about what that philosophy is built on. Is it built on an augmented structure, or is it built from your essence, from the truth, from your soul? If it's built from your truth and your soul, it will sit at odds with the world. It won't quite fit in. It doesn't want to fit in. It doesn't want to belong. And it will sit there because you've learned somewhere to master that, to master and dissolve that need to be stroked and liked. It's fierce energy, this. And then the last planet that came in was Saturn. And Saturn came in as Satine. And it came in as this flowing white satin. It was very feminine, very beautiful and strong. And it took to feminine authority. So Saturn is associated with Capricorn. A Capricornian structure is the patriarchal structure. So I love that that came in as this feminine force. Not I'm going to force you to do something, but just pure feminine creative power. And one of those planets gave me the discombobulation. Lots of words, can't remember them, and then those who do not bend will break. So there's going to be some beautiful. I always say you've never lived until you've had a spectacular nervous breakdown, because that resets the whole control board. You have to let go. Okay, you have to let go. And it's to do with identity and being seen and how you're seen. And this is bloody beautiful. So the moon in Leo speaks not only of the personality that projects, it's actually speaking of what's hidden behind the Leo. So Leo wants the stage, wants the limelight. So Leo can live through its ego. And sometimes Leo forgets it is the heart of the astrology. Because it's the only sign that's ruled by the sun. Oh, that's archetypical. That might not be true. It might be ruled by Venus. I don't know. But when you know a Leo who's in their heart, you never want to be hugged by anybody else again. Because the Leo heart is so open and warm, really, truly beautiful energy. And so here's the dichotomy. Yeah, we know you're a Leo and we know you're fabulous in the limelight. You are. You're magnetic and funny and charming and powerful. But who are you behind closed doors? And who are you when the spotlight isn't on you? When nobody's looking at you? What's hidden behind your sun? What's hidden behind your sun? Right, got it. So it starts with inner brilliance, the words on the card, inner brilliance, and that takes me to the lighthouse. And all the lighthouse has to do is stand and beam. Leo might want to perform. So this is not a message to all you Leos. This is a message to the Leo that sits within everybody. It might be to the child performer. It might be to the person who's great at their job, but doesn't actually feel fulfilled with it. But they're great at it and they shine at it, and people love them and they get promoted. And somewhere along that line, they've lost themselves. Self-expressive fun, soulful sun and moon, surfing symphonic waveforms, chariclo, shape-shifting. Yeah, this is, oh, it's gorgeous. I love this card. Shape-shifting spirit medicine. So we're going to need some shaman cards. Soothing neural networks. Yeah, your nervous system is undergoing massive change. So learning new regulation methods is really going to help you. The law of shamanic health. Well, in my understanding, shamanism for me isn't so much about power animals and all of that stuff. It's about the interconnectivity of everything to everything. Shamanism knows that everything is connected to everything. Therefore, if you affect one, you affect all. It's that level of responsibility. Awakening through illness, beautiful. Russell, that is fantastic. That is brilliant. Awakening through illness. Sometimes these energies, which work in an intelligent way, think about Reiki. And if anybody's studied Reiki, if the client needs 30 watts, they will get 30 watts. If the client needs 400,000 watts, they will get 400,000 watts, because Reiki is universal. It's a universal energy that is intelligent. Okay, so it works through physics, matching. It matches. And sometimes these changes are going to take you off your feet. And if you fight that, you're going to make it quite tough. If you give in and surrender, get out of the way and just go with it. Just give in completely. If you're going to be ill, throw a feather boa around it, darling, and be ill. Go away, I'm ill. I'm busy and I'm ill. Okay, cosmic joke. I'm going to read those. Right, that's those. Where am I going? I'm going to go Sacred Rebels, and then I'm going to start wrapping this up. Okay, boundaries is a great start point. Although I know you guys aren't on the start of your journey, but as we go through this journey, what we learned 3 years ago at level 1 will now be approaching mastery level. And so you'll keep getting it until you don't. To enforce a boundary, you it helps. To enforce a boundary, it helps to step into something I lovingly call willful disappointment. I am now going to willfully disappoint your ego because I'm not going to agree with you. I'm not going to pander. I'm not going to stroke it. Okay? Straight out. Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. That's it. That's it. Okay. In another lesson, so I haven't slept straight through for, I don't know, about 6 weeks now, because I'm in lessons every morning between 2:30 and 5 o'clock. I sit in lessons with my guides and without getting stuck on what am I learning, I just go with what is. And a few mornings ago, we were talking about love. And I was talking about puny human love that is being used as a power tool, basically. That isn't love. It's a lot of other things which I'm not going to go into, but it isn't love. And I was talking to my lot about universal love and how when it pings the system, you know it. I know it. I have known it. I've seen that point happen in my clients' journeys. And it's a point that can move you to tears. And I couldn't describe it. And so I asked, how would I describe universal love? Some might call it unconditional love. So I call it universal love. And I was given these words: universal love is the cleanest mirror you will ever gaze into. That's why it breaks the heart wide open, because when you come face to face with yourself, the universe in you sees the universe in that clean mirror, and it hits like a punch. And as these layers of programming and shepherding, of mind distortions start to dissolve, the end of that sentence just gone. I'm not going to push. That is how it is. And that is how you finish that sentence. As these layers of distortion dissolve, right, this is what's coming. I love these underlying stories. That hasn't changed. I love what's coming. This is the underlying story. The wisdom was never lost. So the Cathar video, a long time ago, I went to the Peak District in England, and I went with a friend, and I'm walking past the entrance to a cave, saw caves in the Peak District. And I said to my friend, I've just walked through a Cathar timeline, and I tested it. And what was happening in that moment was my body was remembering its Cathar experience. So the wisdom of the learned lesson, of the learned discipline, is in your DNA. I believe science is currently storing trillions of bytes of information on DNA. They're creating DNA because it's the best storage facility for information. So once it's in your bones, it's in your bones. It just takes that ping to remember it. So it wasn't a thought experience, it was a remembering experience. And I just kept wandering through this Cathar timeline. It was amazing. It was about 3 feet thick near the entrance to this cave, without getting lost in what it means and were they ever here or check the history books. It was a Cathar timeline. My body knew it. Okay. My body knew it. But how can you be right? This is what you're going to meet. You'll meet the intellect. When the body knows, that's intelligence. So for years, I've been trying to find a description that makes distinct the intellect from the intelligence. And I found the words. The intellect has no sensory connection to its subject matter. Intelligence is connected to everything. Intelligence knows it's connected to everything. So you could call it your intuition, natural intelligence. Trust it. Trust it in the face of someone testing that trust. Trust it. Well, how do you know? How can you prove it? Lighthouse. I look like I'm doing nothing, but I'm beaming. So it's over. Life as you've known it, it's over. Let it go and let yourself vision. It's all there. It's in your bones. Nothing that you seek is outside of you. It's all inside. Everything you crave is within you. You can trust me on that. I've done the legwork. The word wants to be written. It's coming in on that. Oh, I thought it was coming in at 45. 42.6. Don't kowtow to the masses to be liked. Part of the reason I left YouTube is because I caught my ego getting entangled in numbers. And I started this channel as an art form. And I'm here today because I miss the art form, but also because all of this came piling in today. I miss the art form. That's why I'm back. I don't care about the numbers. I didn't care to start with, and I started caring. Right. It's coming in. Mm. As we have devolved into this, so too do we have the memory of our evolved self, our past self, which had all the knowledge, the ancient future, which had all the knowledge. It's all in your bones. It's all in your bones. So we're bringing in the new blueprints, and the new blueprints won't kowtow to the old. So catch yourself. If you bring your subconscious, what's already known, to what's here now, it will make it mundane. It will bring it down. So learn how to sit in the How are you doing today? It's going to make some people wriggle because they want an answer, so they can put you in so the subconscious can put you in an identity box. They're happy, they're sad, they're tired. Yeah, don't know. Lighthouse. I don't know. Release, 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 whatever that takes. I always say the three main tenets of my business. So I work with clients in the world, and we do deep shadow work, beautiful, beautiful work. Feel more, think less. Get really good at crying as a therapeutic process. Like, I need a cup of tea becomes I need to cry. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Those are three main tenets. Okay. Cry and grieve for the little one that could not fully express. The little one that was labeled weird, odd, strange, and all of those words. The little one that was excluded from school, the little one that was thrown out of class, the little one that was persecuted, subtly persecuted for being their heaven-sent self. We can bring that all back online. Slowly. Can't happen overnight. I'm having a memory of another piece of work I did the other night with the flower of life, and I can't remember what I was doing. I was working with the flower of life. Okay. I think that's it for today. Take what lands, dump what doesn't. Chat in the comments. I love the chat. I love to read your comments. Let me know where you're at, what you are, what have you become. And I hope to see you soon. As usual, I leave you with my love and see you whenever. Bye.